everybody, it's MP Lum here. I am so sorry it's been so long since I've done a commentary. It has been a very busy and very challenging year. So I just haven't filled up to commentating or really doing much with YouTube or I haven't even, I do game a little bit, but I haven't even been feeling much up to that. So I've just been trying to focus more on the kids. My kids are playing baseball right now, so that is keeping us very busy. Anyway, this is a game I joined, and I ended up on the other team against a full team of MP. So, I promised them that I would take it easy on them, so, I actually didn't think that my team had a chance, but we actually ended up pulling through on this. But, man, it was pretty tough. And I gotta tell you, TSG, she is one of the mamas on the MP team, man. She's really good. So she gave me quite a challenge, but I sort of had to really think about, where is she? And luckily, she didn't move around too much, so that was nice. Thanks, TSG. So anyway, ever since Steve Jobs died, I know you've all heard about this. Everyone's heard about it. It's been all over the place, and I've seen a few comments where people are like, God, I'm so sick of hearing about that. But ever since he died, I've really wanted to make a commentary about Apple. I am one of those crazy Mac users. I've been a Mac user since I was a teenager. My first Mac was a 2CI. Yes, I am that old. Anyway, I fell in love with the thing. At the time, my mom had a DOS machine at home that ran like Windows 3.1. And it was just sort of a thrown together home built thing. It was very ugly. I hated having to use it. You'd have to start up in DOS and type in Windows to get into Windows. And then Windows was just that blue screen with the white text. It was so ugly. I hated using it. So when I got a Mac, I was just amazed. Like, you could customize everything. It was pretty. It was colorful then when I got my first Mac, and I fell in love with it. I was hooked. I've been a Mac user ever since. My favorite Macintosh though was my second Macintosh, which was a Performa 575. That thing was perfect. It was an all-in-one computer. It had personality, it had style, it was cute. I mean, I love that computer. To this day, that is my favorite Macintosh that I ever owned. I wish I hadn't sold it, but I did. But I still miss it. So, I've used Windows plenty in my life. Of course, working, you have to use Windows. And it's just never had what the Mac has had to me. I know people have always given me a hard time. You don't have as many games available, but I'm not really a PC gamer. I'm not like a hardcore gamer. I like to game, but I don't consider myself a hardcore gamer, and I don't really care that much about the graphics or anything like that. So it's more something to do. I enjoy it, and that's why I do it. So people always gave me a hard time being in love with my Macs and with Apple. And I can't tell you how much shit I've gotten from people because Apple was going out of business, or the Mac only had a one-button mouse, I've heard, or you couldn't play games on the Mac. And then, of course, when the first iMacs came out, it was, I would never buy a computer without a floppy disk. So I thought that was funny. And, I mean, who wouldn't buy a computer without a floppy drive? Jeez. So, of course, I find a lot of amusement in the fact that many of those same people who are constantly giving me crap about being a Mac user are now using Macs or other Apple products. So anyway, I'm a longtime Mac user, and I used to be called the Mac cult back in the day. Man, I'm so old. But I don't know. I just wanted to talk about how much the Macintosh and Apple and Steve Jobs obviously has shaped my life. I always felt like part of a Mac culture, so the only Mac users understood, and it was like so important to me. I used to buy all the books about Macs, like there used to be a book that came out, the Mac is not a typewriter. And I would read almost everything that David Pogue would write about. He's still around. He still does like tech reviews, but he used to be really exclusively Macintosh. And My homepage is still macsurfer.com. It's been that way for years, pretty much ever since I started using the internet. And people would always tease me about how excited I would get for Macworld and for Steve Jobs keynotes. And I honestly haven't been watching those for the past few years because I've been so busy with kids. It's sort of taken my focus away. But man, I used to get so excited. I used to work for eBay. And yeah, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the keynote when I get home. And, and people would laugh at me. So, you know, the whole Mac community was just so important to me. Even back when I was dating, you know, if a guy would ask me out, I'd be like, what kind of computer do you use? And if he wasn't a Mac user, I was like, no thanks. So people thought that was very funny, but it was like so important to me. Like, totally. Yeah, I'm being a dork. But I actually met my husband on a Macintosh forum, so that's really funny. So you know, I was always sort of the dorky girl posting at Macintosh forums about technical stuff, and my job, I was, you know, in charge of Macintosh technical stuff, and just because not that many people were Mac users, and they'd be like, Mac suck, you know, but I loved them. And most people's experiences with Macs at the time were like crappy running Macs that were filled up with junk. It didn't run very well, and so that's how they formed their opinion. But man, if you owned a Mac and you customized it and you could make it run nicely, and I've just loved it. Anyway, so yeah, because of my Mac, because I'm a Mac user, I actually met my husband, and you know, now we have 3 wonderful kids, and I feel like, you know, the Mac helped me find the love of my life, and I feel like I owe a lot to Steve Jobs. I've used a Mac every day of my life since I got my first Mac, and I've learned so much. I'm always learning stuff because of my Mac, I feel like, and I've had a hard time with a lot of changes that have occurred on the Mac. You know, when they took away that little Mac startup icon, I was like so upset about that. And most of you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But when you used to start up the Mac, you know, I'd have this little happy face Mac guy, and he was so cute. And man, when they switched to OS 10, they eventually killed that off. And man, was I sad about that. I felt like, you know, they killed off a friend. So I love that little guy. And you know, even I graduated from college with my Mac. You know, I took my Mac everywhere. I taught using a Mac. I've learned so much using a Mac. And anyway, when Steve Jobs died, I was like really sad. Like, I felt like someone that I knew died, like an old friend died, even though I never knew the guy. And but wow, you know, his design style and you know, what he helped build and what he helped create was something really special to me. And you know, the years that he was gone from Apple, it wasn't the same. That's when they did sort of the Mac clones, and things just weren't the same without him. So when he came back and the iMacs came out, it was so amazing. And so, gosh, I'm running out of things to say, but anyway, yeah. I love the Mac. I'm a Mac user. I'm a total dork. So that's my my secret love. You guys all love your consoles. I love my Macintosh. So anyway, well, I guess the game's over and my team won. So I hope you enjoyed my rambling. It's probably not very exciting, but I love the Mac. Bye, guys.